Hello, I hope you're sitting comfortably. Remember last time we talked about a survey of Augustan literature, and we saw the various types of literature that were important, and above all, prose with the novel is the most important form of literature in the Augustan period. Remember, the novel is a rational form of literature. Its objective is verisimilitude, so to imitate, to be close to reality. And the definition of the novel is the story of an ordinary man in a certain place, so the place is well described and defined, at a certain time. It means that we have a precise chronology. The story of an ordinary man, of a person, in which the readers can recognize themselves, normally a member of the middle class, as the novel was for middle class readers, okay? Especially women who had enough leisure time at home, enough free time to read, okay? I also illustrated the importance of poetry, although we are not seeing poetry this year, but it is the use of a very artificial style called poetic diction, in contrast with what we shall see next year, that is romantic poetry, in which we have a spontaneous language, a spontaneous style, and the representation of the expression of the poet's feelings. Okay? Today we are going to see the rise of the novel. I've already given you a definition of the novel that is quite clear of what the novel is about and what kind of literature it is. The rise of the novel, l'ascesa o il successo del romanzo. Remember, the novel è il romanzo. Per tradurre la parola italiana novella utilizzerò il termine short story. Okay? Page 201. The fathers of the English novel. I padri del romanzo inglese. So the first novel was Robinson Crusoe, okay, written by Daniel Defoe. In fact, if you want to know an anecdote, he had not intended and he had not really built this style of the novel. He only wanted to write something. He was a journalist. He wanted to publish something that would attract his readers, that would be successful. For the first time, the artist lives on his writing, on his production. È la prima volta che lo scrittore vive della vendita dei suoi articoli, della pubblicazione dei suoi articoli e dei suoi libri. Ricordatevi che prima tutti gli artisti avevano sempre avuti dei mecenati. Remember when we talked about Shakespeare, for example. Daniel Defoe and Samuel Richardson, 1689-1761, are generally regarded as the fathers of the English novel. Sono I padri del romanzo inglese, though they did not constitute a literary school, sebbene non avessero costituito una scuola letteraria. The 18th century novelist was the spokesman of the middle class. Il romanziere del XVIII secolo era il portavoce, spokesman, della classe media. The novel was primarily concerned with everything that could affect social status. Il romanzo era prima di tutto occupato con ogni cosa che potesse influenzare lo stato sociale. And it was mainly directed to a bourgeois public, quindi era rivolto ad un pubblico borghese. The writer's aim, lo scopo dello scrittore. The plots, le trame, which had traditionally formed the backbone of English literature for centuries, quindi che avevano formato la spina dorsale della letteratura inglese per secoli, plots taken from history, quindi trame prese dalla storia, for example in Shakespeare, legend, alle leggende, and mythology were abandoned, quindi queste trame vengono abbandonate. The writer's primary aim, lo scopo primario dello scrittore, was no longer to satisfy the standards of patrons and the literary elite, non era più di soddisfare le richieste dei mecenati e dell'elite letteraria, but to write in a simple way, ma scrivere in modo semplice, in order to be understood, in modo da essere capito, even by less well-educated readers, anche da lettori meno colti. Since it was the bookseller and not the patron, dato che era l'editore, il venditore di libri e non il mecenate, who rewarded the writer, che ricompensava lo scrittore, ovviamente con i proventi della vendita dei loro libri, speed and copiousness became the most important economic virtues. La velocità e la copiosità divennero le virtù economiche più importanti. The message of the novel, il messaggio del romanzo. The story was particularly appealing to the practical-minded tradesman, quindi la storia piaceva particolarmente al commerciante dalla mente pratica, who was self-made and self-reliant, che si era fatto da sé e contava solo su di sé. The sense of reward and punishment, il senso di ricompensa e punizione, which was the message of the novel itself, che era il messaggio del romanzo stesso, was related to the Puritan ethics of the middle classes, era in relazione con l'etica puritana della classe media. Yet some hints at social justice can be found in Defoe. Pertanto alcuni suggerimenti di giustizia sociale si possono trovare in Defoe. The characters, i personaggi. The writer aimed at realism, quindi lo scopo dello scrittore era il realismo. He tried to portray different human experiences, cercava di rappresentare le diverse esperienze umane, and not only those suited to one particular literary perspective, e non solo le espressioni che convenivano a una prospettiva letteraria in particolare. The realism of the novel was linked, il realismo del romanzo was linked not to the kind of life presented, non era collegato al tipo di vita rappresentato, but to the way a life experience was presented, ma al modo in cui un'esperienza di vita veniva presentata. The subject of the novel was always the bourgeois man. Il soggetto del romanzo era sempre l'uomo borghese and his problems e i suoi problemi. He was a well-defined character. Era un personaggio ben definito and the hero of the narrative, e l'eroe della narrazione. He was generally the mouthpiece of his author. Era di solito il portavoce del suo autore, and the reader was expected to sympathize with him, e il lettore ci si aspettava che avesse, simpatia per lui. All the characters struggled either for survival or social success. Tutti i personaggi lottavano o per la sopravvivenza o per il successo sociale, and they could be divided into two groups, e potevano essere divisi in due gruppi. The former, il primo gruppo, was composed of people who believed in reason, era composto da persone che credevano nella ragione, like Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. The latter, il secondo gruppo, by those who cannot control their passions, da coloro che non sapevano controllare le loro passioni, and subordinate reason to their desires, e quindi che subordinano la ragione ai loro desideri, like Defoe's Moll Flanders. Moll Flanders è proprio una delinquente, una ladra, quindi ovviamente è chiaro che la fine giustifica il mezzo. The fact that characters were given contemporary names, il fatto che ai personaggi venivano dati nomi contemporanei, and surnames, e anche dei cognomi, was something new, era qualcosa di nuovo, and served to reinforce the impression of realism, e ciò serviva per rafforzare l'impressione di verosimiglianza. Ok, I'm stopping here. I will read and explain the second part for next week. Okay, goodbye. And please watch my lessons. I have no other way to have them than this.